Welcome to Cinema Story Plus. Today, we're going to talk about Silent Zone, 2025, a powerful story of survival, loss, and hope in a world full of danger. Movie start. An emergency broadcast on TV announces the existence of a new virus that has appeared in an airport. Infected people become extremely violent, and soon the airport is on fire. After 2 months, the virus has become a global pandemic. It transforms humans into zombie-like monsters known as ferals, who are viewed as running beasts. The government tries to establish a quarantine, but many citizens protest against it and fight for the rights of ferals, believing they are also humans. The army's attempt to send civilians home by taking over the streets and fighting simply worsens the situation. One afternoon, all TV channels lose their signals. Abigail and her brother get a call from their father. He is a pilot, and he explains he has lots of work to do helping people and got promises, they'll be safe with their mother. At that moment they hear a noise from upstairs, so the family runs out of the house. When they're ready to get in the car, a feral runs out and attacks the mother to kill her. Abigail quickly hides under the car and has to watch as the feral attacks her brother as well. When a police siren sounds nearby, the feral runs that way. Abigail hears her brother call her name, but her mother turns into a feral and killed him. When Abigail screams, her mother approaches her, but Cassius shoots her. He saves Abigail. She gives him a hug and thanks. Cassius tells Abigail to close her eyes before shooting her brother, who is also transforming. Almost 10 years later, the globe is in a post-apocalyptic state. There are few humans remaining, and nature has overtaken cities. In the jungle, Abigail is now a teenager and now she hunting with Cassius. However, Cassius criticizes her for rush and having no control. Once both of them stops to camp at night, Cassius ensures all tripwires are properly installed. After several hours of sleep, Cassius is awakened by a tripwire noise. He comes out of the tent to look into it, and identified something stuck in the wire. When he hears sounds nearby, he runs to quiet the horses and pulls out his revolver, just in time to shoot an approaching wild. Cassius wakes Abigail and tells her they need to leave because it's no longer safe to stay there. Cassius keeps training Abigail on how to fight, and while they travel for a few days, stopped only to rest the horse. They stopped riding one afternoon when they saw a car nearby and quickly took out their weapons. A man shoots a feral animal while that second creature approaches from behind. Abigail fired too quickly, and the bullet struck and killed the man instead of the feral animal. Cassius immediately shot and killed the feral afterward. After that, Abigail searches the car for supplies, while Cassius grabs the man's shoes after accidentally killing him with a gun. Abigail tries to alert the driver about a feral horde in the area, but Cassius suggests her to ignore the radio signal. At the time, more vehicles showed up, and a number of survivors surround them with weapons. They check the dead guy's body and see a human killed him, so they assume the duo did it just as stealing him. When the leader threatens to kill them, Cassius and Abigail punch and knock down the nearby people, stealing their weapons. During a heated situation, a pregnant woman called Megan steps out of a car to help calm things down. The horses make worried sounds as a feral swarm appears around them. To keep away ferals, everyone quickly starts fire and kills as many as possible. Due to the large number of them, Cassius and Abigail uses knives to fight in hand-to-hand combat. However, because the other survivors rely only on their weapons, the ferals begin to kill them individually. A lady prepares a Molotov bomb, but when attacked by a feral, it falls on a car, causing a small explosion that sends Cassius back. After being attacked, one of the survivors attempts to self-delete but runs out of guns, leading to his transformation. A large feral catches the leader and slowly beats him to death. Megan's husband, David, gets attacked by a feral but manages to run away. Abigail supports the couple in getting into the vehicle, while Cassius kills a few creatures before joining them. Cassius stops the vehicle to remove a feral from the car roof. Abigail takes advantage of the opportunity to grab their belongings before their escape. When the large feral discovers his sweetheart has been killed, he rages. Abigail looks at their weapons while on the road and discovers they have lost most of it. Megan suggests they were driving to a riverfront colony and she is in her 35th week of pregnancy, so the baby will arrive shortly. Abigail and Cassius believe that looking for colonies is pointless, as they have seen numerous failed attempts. When the vehicle comes to a stop and the engine fails, the group is forced to walk. After arriving in an abandoned village, the group decides to stay the night. They search the building for Farrell before setting up camp. Megan offers to share her meal, but Cassius and Abigail only eat what they hunt to prevent illness. According to the couple, they talked with the colony by radio and are assured in their supply and medical capabilities. Traveling for a week presents a significant level of risk. Abigail informs them that she and Cassius are attempting to reach the west coast and escape to the islands via boat. Cassius guides the couple to the colony using a map after setting up the tripwires outside. Still, he refuses to go with them, warning that the horde would return for revenge. In a private conversation, Abigail asks Cassius to assist the couple in hopes for a better colony. And disgust breaks out, but Cassius continues to refuse to help. During the night, the horde discovers a broken car and runs it to town. Cassius proves to David that he always keeps a bullet in his pocket in case he's bitten, as the guys are having trouble sleeping. David only has a cigarette and a twisted ankle. Cassius agrees to help them in reaching the colony after they bond during a long conversation. The next morning, Abigail checks the noise downstairs. Abigail is attacked by a Farrell and forced to lose her weapon, but she manages to kill him fast with her machete. When a second Farrell chases Abigail up the stairs, she uses the broken window to throw the creature out of the building. Cassius manages to catch her before she falls. By the time the horde arrives at the building, the gang has already left. A Farrell tripped on the line, resulting in a tiny explosion that killed him. Abigail remembered a nearby public airport where her father used to fly a little plane. Cassius believes an airport would make it easier for the horde to catch them, as all planes are likely gone. Cassius is forced to follow Abigail and the couple after they vote to go there. After walking for a time, they come across an old structure and a car carrying a recently killed man. Cassius tells Abigail to check the building for supplies, but refuses to rest as he believes they are not alone. Abigail simply finds out coffee and doesn't notice the family hiding in one of the rooms. Cassius finds a wheelchair in the car's trunk and uses it to carry Megan. After the group leaves, the horde comes to the building and kills the family within seconds. When they finally get at the airport, there are no planes nearby. Abigail discovers her father's hangar and interrupts David and Cassius' argument on how to go on. Fortunately, there is a plane inside, and David has the mechanical knowledge necessary to repair it. Cassius and Abigail search the building while he is working. Abigail finds a photo of herself with her father on the floor and returns it on the wall. When the horde arrives, the group runs to get on the plane, even though it's not fully prepared. Cassius shoots to slow the horde, while David manually pushes the engine to start the plane. Abigail's lack of flying experience, along with the plane's poor speed, puts the horde uncomfortably near. Fortunately, she finds the correct buttons quickly, and the plane begins to move. Cassius has to shoot the Farrell to make it fall from the door. The airplane then takes off, and the group is free to go. However, they barely fly for a few moments after the plane fails and crashes. Abigail tries to land the plane, but it crashes into trees and falls to the ground. Fortunately, it lands on its wheels, allowing everyone to survive with only minor injuries. After ensuring that the local train station is unoccupied, they choose to rest there. Cassius studies the map and realizes it will take 2 days to reach the colony. They plan to leave first thing in the morning. Abigail counts Megan and Cassius share some food and Cassius admits she reminds him of his wife. He reveals he had to kill her infected family and that later she self-deleted because she couldn't take it anymore. Cassius tells a story of a kid in his hometown who got bitten. The wound did not reach an artery, thus it took a few days for him to fully heal. David wants a private space to check on his ankle, identifying it is not twisted. David is unable to self-delete a bite wound, although knowing he should. The gang continues its journey the following day. During their walk in the warm sun, Cassius notices blood on David's leg. He waits until the women are way ahead after pushing David against a tree and checking his ankle to confirm his suspicions. Cassius offers him the choice of telling everyone on his own terms, but warns him that if he does not do so soon, he will be shot. In the evening, the group discovers a house with lights on. As they get closer, a voice asks what they want. Cassius believes it's too dangerous, but Abigail approaches the house and asks for help, stating they mean no harm and noting the pregnant woman. Norton holds them at gunpoint and orders them to leave all weapons in the chest outside. Then he invites them inside with a really nice and welcoming tone. Norton, an engineer, reveals that he created systems that provide electricity and hot water when Cassius mentions the house's power. He reveals a wife but rejects Megan's question about where she's been. Norton shares his bread and vegetables with them, and Abigail enjoys taking a shower. Cassius can now connect to his laptop and view old photos, revealing that his wife was pregnant before the pandemic. When he checks on Megan, she admits to being concerned because she hasn't felt the baby move since they arrived at the residence. Cassius promises to protect her child in case something happens to her. After sharing a drink with everyone, Norton tells that he has lived there for 20 years but his wife is no longer present. After hearing about the colony on the radio, he chooses to stay alone. Norton criticizes people of obsessing over the past and blaming humanity for the pandemic on their disregard for the planet and ethics. He refers the virus to evolution, saying that only the strongest have survived. Cassius detects a weird knife on the table, but Norton removes it. As David becomes increasingly ill, he runs to the bathroom, where he discovers the infection spreading. Norton, dressed in a lab coat and holding a weird gadget, tainted the drinks, causing his buddies to become asleep. He detects David's sickness and activates the equipment, resulting in David collapsing in pain. Norton says that the gadget, like a dog whistle, only affects the infected and causes David to pass out. Meanwhile, the Horde found the train station and continues on their search. After waking up, David realizes the entire group is trapped in a basement. Norton is taking notes for his experiment and admits that he has locked up his diseased wife in a cage. He releases her and uses a device to control her, causing her to attack the group. Cassius and Abigail kick her regularly to keep her back, causing the woman to pursue David, who breaks the ropes and fights back. After a brief battle, David overpowers her, forcing Norton to set up his machine to prevent him from saving the others. David's half-transformation allows him to push through agony and break all of the ropes. Cassius takes a gun and attempts to shoot Norton, who quickly runs. As everyone runs upstairs and shuts the door behind them, Norton begins beating it with an axe. Abigail steals Norton's car keys, and Cassius recovers their belongings before hitting David. He wants to shoot him right now, but the women encourage him to wait. Megan realizes that her water has broken while they are on their way to the car. Norton walks out to watch the group drive away while his wife screams at him. When the vehicle reaches the woodland, the Horde follows them. The team notices lights in the distance, indicating they have found the colony. Although their best efforts to drive quickly, they are unable to proceed due to a tree blocking the route. The Horde approaches and opens fire, but David runs out. Since he'll transform soon anyway, he tells the others to go, while he buys them some time. After a tearful goodbye, Cassius gives David his bullet before leaving with the group. When they've gotten far enough, David smokes his cigarette and begins fighting the ferals hand to hand. He manages to defeat a few of them but the big feral surprises him from behind and breaks his neck. Abigail must open fire to protect Cassius, who is carrying Megan, as the remaining ferals pursue the survivors. She screams for help, getting the attention of guards at the colony gate, who immediately shoot the ferals chasing the trio. When the remainder of the Horde sees the bodies and lights, they retreat to the forest. After enter to the colony, Megan is taken to the infirmary where a midwife cares for her. Cassius tells Abigail that they should leave soon because humans can't be trusted. However, Abigail is tired of running and ignores him. Cassius sees the midwife. She tells him that the baby is doing well but the mother has only a few hours left. Cassius sees his friend and realizes the baby is a girl called Hope. Megan tells him of his promise and gives him her family locket before dying. Meanwhile, Norton arrives at the forest and discovers all the bodies. Wandering around lets him to observe the colony. The horde attacks him, but he quickly uses his gadgets to control them and declares revenge. Cassius is taking care of Hope in the colony and considers his next steps. Abigail connects with local teenagers and attends a small party in the evening. When two guards fall sleeping due to alcohol consumption, a few young people take advantage and enter a tunnel. Abigail follows them and finds a strange remote control, but Roderick stops her from touching it. He explains that the entire boat town is mined and the remote will blow it up if ferals manage to invade it. To avoid the explosion, humans can access an abandoned dam via a ground entrance. The next morning, Norton approaches a guard on a boat and asks for support. After killing the guard, a feral enters the colony and kills the other guards. Norton can now launch an attack with the entire horde. As survivors are being killed, a small group of armed people come to fight. Abigail saves Roderick from a feral before assigning duties to the young group. Those with guns must fire from a higher position, while Roderick guides surviving to the dam while searching for Cassius. As panic spreads throughout the colony, the midwife leaves Hope from Cassius to look for Abigail. As the colony's firearms run out of weapons, the leader flees but is killed by a feral. Abigail shoots a feral, nearly killing two little girls, while Cassius hits a beast to save two teenagers. Abigail and Cassius return to fight the ferals with guns in hand-to-hand combat. Cassius tries to join the fight, but gets sidetracked by Norton and gets attacked by a feral. After Cassius hits the beast, Norton approaches him and kicks him while talking, creating a safer world. Cassius stands up and punches Norton against a wall, eventually breaking the device. Cassius returns to Abigail, while the ferals attack Norton to kill him. After navigating the tunnel and reaching the dam, the survivors ask Roderick to activate the explosives, but he waits due to Abigail's absence. Cassius hits a feral in the colony with an oar when he tries to attack Abigail. When the creature collapses, Abigail looks at his bracelet and recognizes her father. Cassius has to bring her to the hatch after she freezes from shock. The duo reaches the tunnel shortly before Roderick blows up the colony, killing all ferals. Afterward, the survivors find a sick guy among them. As Cassius tries to calm him down, a feral appears and kills him. Then it turns to attack Cassius, triggering a fight. They continue to punch each other until they fall to the ground, where the feral nearly bites Cassius. Abigail patiently waits for the ideal opportunity to shoot, resulting in a successful kill without harming her buddy. As the colony burns, the survivors wonder what their next steps should be. Abigail suggests they build a new home in the dam, while Cassius says he took Norton's notebook including generator instructions. This is the end of the story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you to all my viewers for your support.